We're about to take a look at Tract 12 at the Fuson Conservation Area. This is a 10-acre tract. It is the last tract on the south end, so it will actually be the first property we come to. We went north on DD Highway until DD Highway transitioned into gravel and became Pleasant Ridge Road, which is the road we are traveling upon right now. We go a little less than a mile on Pleasant Ridge Road and we'll be on Tract, we'll be at Tract 12, which is on the right. Actually, that's the start of Tract 12 right about there. It measures about 330 feet from north to south, so that gives it about 330 feet of frontage here on Pleasant Ridge Road. And it goes back to the east for about a quarter mile, or about 1,320 feet. I'll pull over here and we'll have a look at Tract 12. You can see the power's up there, so it's super close. The phone is at the county road also, so that's available. So you can see the sign right there in the tree, which shows that we made it to the right property, Tract 12. It looks like the guys haven't yet put in an approach. So if you buy the property and the approach isn't done, feel free to mark where you would like it, and they'll be happy to put it in that location for you. Otherwise, they'll probably just put it roughly in the center of the road frontage. They got up here one day with the skid loader and they got several done, and then they got rained out and we haven't made it back yet, but of course we'll be happy to do that the next time we get up here with the skid loader. I see a lot of probably 15-year-old, 20-year-old timber out here by the road. Pretty low traffic road. A few neighbors. Probably the closest house to Tract 12 is half a mile. This is already more than I've ever seen of Tract 12. I've seen it from the road. I've never walked it before. There's some commercial sized timber. I'll just walk back 100 or 200 feet, but if we were to go back a quarter mile, we'd be at the Fuson Conservation Area on the east side of the property, which is about 1,500 acres of land, which is open to the public for hunting or camping. There are one or two really large caves, which you might have to get a permit to go into the caves. I'm not sure about that. But there's a creek on the Fuson Conservation Area as well. And you can see these trees are easily big enough that they aren't brush. You wouldn't classify this as brushy. You can actually walk through this. And then of course we have some larger, more commercial sized timber here. It looks like, boy, I wish I knew my trees a little more. White oak and maybe some red oak. I've seen some hickory out here. There could be pine and cedar further back, but I don't see any in this area. There's a big oak. So right now we're probably 150 feet off of the road, but you can't even see the road. With these thick young trees, it is a super private property. There's obviously been a deer here fairly recently. Great area for deer and turkey. Just fantastic. So you can bring your chainsaw, you're free to cut in your own driveway and building site. Hopefully you plan it so you don't have to take down any of this big commercial timber. But this smaller stuff for the purposes of driveways and building sites, if that's got to go, it's got to go. I said in another video I took out here recently, the guys just came in with a couple chainsaws and cut a nice long driveway about 300 feet back. Curved it a little bit, but it's super wide and culminates at a large building site. And we had two guys running the chainsaw and two young guys, 12 and 13-year-old guys, throwing out the trees, throwing them off to the side, and the whole thing took about 4 hours. It just doesn't take that long when you're dealing with this smaller type of stuff. But they also, like I said, did curve it a little bit to miss this big commercial timber. I think that was on Tract 8, I'm not sure about that. But that will give you an idea about how long it would take to cut in a driveway and a building site with saws. For 2 adults, you could probably do it in about an 8-hour day. Nice big trees on this property. And as far as privacy is concerned, all of these properties are private. This one probably more than any of them because it is the last one on the south end. If you've been looking for properties here in the Ozarks for a while, you've already noticed that anything close to a river is hard to find. And we are only about 5 minutes from the Gasconade River, raider access to the Gasconade River, which is a good access point. If you're into fishing or canoeing or tubing, kayaking, Gasconade is great for that. Here's a little open grassy area. And also, if you've been looking for land in the Ozarks or anywhere, you've probably noticed that to get something directly bordering public land is pretty hard to find. And the rare times we've had that situation, it's usually out in the boondocks, hours from any major city. Well, here we are, bordering public land, and only about 20 miles out of Marshfield, about 30 miles out of Springfield, 15 miles out of Hartville. It's just really a unique situation, so we're super excited about these tracts. They're all great properties. We happen to be on Tract 12 right now, which does look like a good one. I don't have the topo map with me today, but it looks like it's basically level off the county road and slopes down gently as you move back to the east. It looks like every bit of this would be, flat enough to be usable for a building site. Good property, investment potential, and you can use it in the meantime. The trees are large enough that you're going to get some real growth in the next 10 or 15 years on these trees. So that's Tract 12 at the Fuson Conservation Area in Wright County, Missouri.